going on, you guys? Man, it's your boy Tony T. Time West back at it again with another episode of the Cam and T podcast with my other host, Cam. How you doing, brother? Glad to have you back, man.
Yes, sir. Man, I'm feeling good, man. It was a good weekend, great weekend, man. I
Great
had a lot of
weekend.
fun this weekend. It was nice being out there in Charlotte with all the folks. You know what I'm saying? Good to see people. Good to get some interviews done, man. Um, and as always, it's good to see you, bro. So
Yes,
hope
sir.
everything going well for you, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Same, bro. It was so crazy. And shout out to y'all, man. Y'all, it was crazy being in Cam can attest to this. And we was out there and people was like, I follow you. I follow you on TikTok. And we see y'all on TikTok. And you know what I'm saying? So that was just incredible. That dang near brought tears to my eyes that people like knew who we were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that was definitely dope. Definitely a great experience. We had a lot of fun in Charlotte. It was really dope. We'll be in Atlanta this week at Mercedes-Benz for the Panthers game, Panthers versus Falcons. So that's gonna be exciting as well. I know a lot of people from Charlotte are coming down. So that's gonna be a good one too, man. So I'm super excited. We have a great show for y'all today. I mean, this is gonna be, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably gonna be one of the longer episodes because we got a lot to cover.
yeah,
It's gonna be a great one. It's I'm excited to talk college football. We got a lot of college football to talk about. We'll talk about Colorado and Coach Prime. We'll talk about LSU, Florida State. We're gonna have a lot of fun today, man. And then we're gonna jump into some NFL things, man. We're gonna talk a lot of NFL. This is probably gonna be majority NFL talk today, man. So a lot of who predictions and also as well, like who do we think is gonna win this? And we're gonna be doing a lot of that. We have a power rankings as well that's gonna be coming out for the NFL. So we got a lot planned today. So this is a good episode. We know it's Labor Day. We know the majority of people are off. So just come and kick it with us, man, and sit back and chill because this is going to be a really good episode. This is probably going to be our best episode, I feel like, yet, man. So I'm super excited to go ahead and jump into it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going. So the first thing I want to talk about a little bit, and we actually have Caleb in here, and we'll just talk about this briefly because this game was on Thursday. Let's talk about Utah versus Florida a little bit on Thursday. Now, I know it feels like forever ago because we've seen so many games this weekend, but
yeah,
I
man.
just want to talk about Utah and Florida just a little bit. Utah won the game 27-11. Florida just looked brutal. They looked bad. It was rough. It just wasn't a good look for them. Utah had out their third string quarterback and absolutely just took it to them pretty much. For you, and this is just really a question for you. Florida has kind of they're now in their second year under Billy Napier. Is it kind of time to start putting him on the hot seat, bro?
Yeah, I would say so. I know they got, I know they've been pretty active on the recruiting trail and everything. But I think when you play in the SEC, the Florida Gators, they're looking to win soon, right?
Yeah,
If they don't get it any better this year, what I'm saying? I think you give him the year and even
yeah,
maybe a little bit next year, but you need to be kind of putting it in his ear like, hey, you're gonna have to start translating this team, all this stuff into some wins. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, so yeah, I would say his seat might not be scorching hot, but it's a little warm. It's a little lukewarm. Um,
Yeah,
it last year they beat Utah. They was able to beat them. But they obviously had a NFL quarterback on their team in Anthony Richardson, and that was probably his best game of the season. To be real,
yeah,
was that the game against Utah? So I would say, last night or excuse me, a couple of nights ago, just didn't really look good. I mean, 11 points is truly unacceptable in
yeah,
for a big
yeah.
time college football program. So yeah, I'm gonna say they probably should be, or excuse me, Billy Napier probably should be a little bit on that hot seat, man.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think the Utes had and Caleb could probably attest to this. The Utes had, I believe, like 8 starters out.
Mm,
And like 5 or 6 on defense.
mm,
So if that's the case, that's pretty bad. I mean, Florida, and I've been saying this for weeks, for months, and now for 2 years. Florida stinks. I
mm-hmm.
do not think they're good. Just to be quite frankly honest, I think Dan Mullen took his eyes off the prize his last couple years there and stopped recruiting well. And I think now Billy Napier is trying to build that back up. So that's a tough task for Billy Napier. But
All right.
to be honest, man, I'm just going to keep it real with you. Florida sucks. Like, they're not
Mm-hmm.
good. That's a 5-win team at best. And that's being generous, honestly. I just do not see that team being good. They're just not a good team. I just don't see it with them.
No.
I personally, I'm gonna be honest. It's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion. I have Florida now after what I've seen this past week. I have them finishing like next to last in the SEC East. Like,
Yeah.
I have Vanderbilt, them. Like,
Mm.
that's kind of what I see. And for Florida, that's disrespectful. That's
Yeah.
disgusting.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's unacceptable for Florida. Yeah, it's absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and move into the next game too in college football, which is the game everybody's talking about. And the game that I think got the most attention this weekend. I know a lot of people talked about FSU and Florida State, and I did too, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm not gonna lie, Deion Primetime Sanders going down to Dallas Fort Worth, getting a big win at TCU over a ranked team. I don't care how you put it. I don't care if TCU took a step back. This is a team that was just in a national title game last year.
Yeah.
And Deion, with a team that just won one game last year, went down there and competed and won. They got the win down there, 45-42. Shedeur Sanders absolutely blew me away.
Yeah.
38 for 47, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. The running back, Dalen Edwards, was amazing. 5 receptions, 135 yards, 3 touchdowns. Travis Hunter played both sides of the ball. He was absolutely tremendous as well. 11 catches, 119 yards. He probably could have had like 170 yards. He dropped like a 50-yard bomb on the money dot from Sanders. So he could have been close to like 200 yards, honestly, to be real with you. And he was tremendous on the defense side of the ball as well. He played great corner. He had an interception in this game, 3 tackles, 2 pass defended. I mean, this guy, it was incredible, bro. Once again, and I talked about this on Twitter, with the transfer portal, there is no longer an excuse for you to stink. There's no longer an excuse. You can't, if you're a college, you know how, you have to get quote unquote your players in recruiting class. So it would take you, 3-4 years really to get your guys. With the transfer portal, that is over. It's over. If you suck, it's pretty much becoming the NFL. If you suck after like a year or two, you're done. You're out of there. Because now, as you can see what Deion has did in literally 6 months, and now has them competing against a team that was just in the national title last year. Don't care how you put it. They were in the national title last year.
Right.
College coaches no longer have any grace. You're done. If you suck, like Matt Rule, not even trying to bring you up, if you suck this season, you should be on the hot seat going into next year, getting ready to get fired. Straight up.
Yeah.
Because now Deion has just showed you, get in the portal.
How it's done.
Yeah. Mike Norvell. We're going to talk about him in a few minutes. They've showed you. Get in the portal, get what you need to get, and get better. This team won 1 game last year. They have already met that after week 1. And they got Nebraska coming up this week, who I think they're better than. After what I've seen from them on Thursday, I think they're going to beat Nebraska by probably 10-plus points. Yeah. So we're looking at a team that could very well be on their way to 2-0 already. That was complete garbage last year. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. College football coaches, your grace period is over. It's over. Mm-hmm. You're about to be like NFL now. After year 2, if you suck, it's done. It's over with. That's personally how I feel about it. But how did you feel about like just Deion in general and what he's doing at Colorado?
Yeah, man, I think he's changing the game, man. I said this before, on Twitter. I've talked about it a lot, where I felt like Prime, let's take it back for a little bit to what he did at Jackson State, right? I mean, changed the program, right? Really, even if he had stayed there, even for a couple more years, he might have changed the whole college football landscape bringing in recruits to more HBCUs. And shoot, he might have already done that just in the 2 years that he was there. You know what I mean? So I think Prime, first of all, we're talking about one of the greatest football players ever, college or NFL. Like legitimately, probably one of the top 5 players to ever play football. You know what I'm saying? Like he's coming back, he's coaching, and he's doing it at smaller schools, at schools that haven't really been great at football forever, right? They've had, they might have had good years here and there, but what he's doing at Colorado, for them to go from 1-11 to already being 1-0, you know what I mean? For him bringing in a Heisman candidate and Shedeur Sanders, for him to bring in another Heisman candidate and Travis Hunter, you know what I'm saying? For him to bring those guys with him and really, they have a shot to make some noise in the final season of the Pac-12. They have a shot to make some noise. You know what I mean? I think Deion Sanders is doing it how coaches should do it. Hit that transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? Be a player's coach. Believe in your guys. Connect with them on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? Connect with them on a level that a lot of other coaches ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about Matt Rule. You brought him up a little bit earlier. I'm gonna call him out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like he hit the transfer portal, and they absolutely stunk it up against Minnesota,
they look bad.
Who stinks. You know what I'm saying?
They look bad, man.
They look trash, and there's a difference between what Prime is doing and what Matt Rule is doing. Prime is doing everything that he said he's gonna do, and he's gonna back it up. Rule ain't even following through with what he said he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, my man Ethan said Shedeur gonna throw for 700 against Nebraska at this pace. He could, man. He threw for over 500 against TCU. And they was just in the national championship game. You know what I'm saying? Like it looked flawless. So, man, I think Colorado, especially offensively, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be a problem this year, man. I think they got a lot of stuff to be excited about. And I think if Deion Sanders, I think if he continues at this pace, he won't be at Colorado for long.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. And just before we move on to the next thing, Colorado has Nebraska next week at home. I think they probably win that game. Then they have Colorado at home, Colorado State, excuse me. They win that game as well, more than likely. Then they have Oregon. They go up to Oregon on the 23rd. So we're looking at a situation where Colorado could be 3-0 going into Oregon in a couple weeks. If that is the case, Deion is doing a tremendous job. Even if they go in there 2-1, honestly, Deion is doing a good job. So, congrats to them and wishing them nothing but the best. But yeah, Deion's definitely changing the game. I do
College game day gonna be there. Colorado versus Oregon. If they,
I don't know. That's the same day. That's the same day as the Ohio State and Notre Dame game, and that's also the same day as Clemson, Florida State.
Clemson, FSU. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Because
they might put them up there.
Yeah, they're definitely the most exciting team. I feel like after what I seen Thursday, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see some more Colorado because they fun to watch. But we just talked about FSU too, so yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think if they be blowing them folks out, like the teams that you just said, Nebraska and Colorado State, I think there's a shot that college game they're gonna be in. It's in Oregon. It's at Oregon.
In Oregon. Yep, it'll be at Austin Stadium.
I think it's a shot, man. At the
zoo.
Zoo.
It could happen. It definitely could. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Florida State. We were just talking about LSU and how Florida State has used the transfer portal well. Let's talk about FSU because last night, not gonna lie, actually, let's not jump into FSU yet. We gotta talk about the ACC. Period. My bad. I'm not even gonna do y'all like that, Tar Heels fans. I got to give y'all some credit because I thought that the Tar Heels looked really good on Saturday night. Defensive wise, they've improved a lot. They've improved a lot on the defense. I was really impressed with what they did, especially up front. 9 sacks. Last year, you want to know how many sacks they had as a team? 17 for the whole season. They had 17. Over half of that. They had half of that just on Saturday. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really impressed with that, with the O-line. I mean, with the D-line of North Carolina. Now they did still give up like 350 something plus yards passing, but I'm gonna be honest. All that UNC's offense need is for their defense to be mediocre. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can be mediocre, which pretty much that's what they were on Saturday, they can win some games. I mean,
Yeah.
you talked about it a little bit. If they can have a smidge of the defense, this team can win 10 games. South
Yeah.
Carolina, I'm not trying to just dog on them. I'm not trying to just hate on South Carolina because I'm a Clemson fan. They look like crap on both sides of the ball, but especially up front. They suck. That O-line is not good at all. And like I said, I talked about this when we were together on Saturday. South Carolina has a chance to start out the season 1-4. Like that is a very real possibility for them. They have Furman this week. That should be an easy dub. I think we all agree there for the most part. That should be an easy dub. But then after that, they have Georgia at Georgia. They're not winning that game. Let's just be straight up. Then after that, they have Mississippi State at home. Mississippi State is a pretty good team, bro. And they playing for their coach that just passed away. Rest in peace to the Pirate, Mike Leach. So they're going to be playing hard for him this season as well. They could possibly be looking at already at that point 1-3. Then they got Tennessee right after that. You're looking at 1-4 at this point. You got them at Tennessee, and they're going to want their lick back.
From last year.
Yeah. You're looking at 1-4, and then they go to Florida. Florida comes in, they should win that game. I'll give them that. But you're looking at a situation where you can start off your season 1-4, and all that momentum that Shane Beamer and them had all over the summer is canned. It's over.
Yeah.
So I think South Carolina is in a really dangerous spot because I thought they really needed. I picked them to win. I thought they really needed that game on Saturday because without it, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be an issue for them.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think first and foremost, shout out to the Tar Heels for what they did. They made me look good. I told you, like I said, that week, man, I told you I felt like North Carolina was being a little slept on. All they had to do was just play a little bit of defense, and that's what they did. All they really need is one of those bend, don't break defenses, and that's what they had against South Carolina. That front four, their defensive line looked absolutely incredible. They looked incredible, man. I don't know his name or his number, but it was a big dude on their line. He was coming off the edge, and I mean, he was literally pushing two dudes with both arms, just pushing them out the way.
That was Amari Gardner. He came from Florida State. He was going crazy.
Like they got a nice team, man. I think the Tar Heels they have a legitimate shot of starting the season 9-0, in my opinion. They have a legitimate shot. When you look at their schedule, there's no game on there that they should really be favored to lose in as of right now. You know what I mean? I think that they're go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think their toughest 3 games of the season are the last 3: Duke, Clemson, and North Carolina State. And really, North Carolina State didn't impress me.
No, they didn't impress me. They struggled with Connecticut. So yeah.
Right.
So I'm glad you said that because I got their schedule pulled up. So let's kind of talk about it a little bit. App State next week, they should win that game. That should be a win at home.
So that's 2.
Minnesota didn't show me nothing on Thursday. Even though they won, they don't look any good. They should win that game. Now, Pittsburgh is going to be the one you need to watch out for because they don't nobody ever talk about them. They always laying in the weeds, and they always play pretty decent against North Carolina. So I think that's a game you're going to have to watch out for. They play Syracuse after that. I think they get the dub. They play Miami after that. Miami looks a little better this year, I will be honest, but I don't see them beating North Carolina at North Carolina, in my opinion. I think they win that game. They play Virginia. Virginia very well could be the worst team in the Power 5. I'm not even going to hold you. They're winning that game. Then they play Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech looked good the first half of that game they played on Friday, but in that second half, they look like old Georgia Tech. They should win that game. Now, Georgia Tech has had UNC's number. They should win that game. Then they play Campbell. They should win that game. So then you're looking at Duke, Clemson, NC State, like you said, the last 3 games of the season. I mean, I think it's very feasible that they could go 9-0. I think North Carolina could definitely start out the season 9-0 if they really want.
They got a shot to do it for sure. I don't think anybody should say, "Oh, there's no way they're doing it." You know what I'm saying? They got a shot to go 9-0. But ultimately, man, they look good. South Carolina, not so much. I will say, I thought there's a few players on South Carolina that look good,
Yeah,
and if they, I don't know if they had injuries along the offensive line. I don't know if those guys just weren't prepared. But if they
right.
offensive line just gets solid, just gets stable,
Yeah,
they can get some wins this year.
right.
But it's looking rough right now because that O line just isn't good. They got the quarterback, they got the wide receiver room because woof, them boys can. Hey,
That
I ain't.
Leggett boy
Hey,
is tough, man.
hey, man. Hey, Andrews Wells. You know what I'm saying? I know he
Andrew
was injured.
Swales. Yeah.
I know he was injured in the last game. And then on defense, they got some solid guys too. Especially linebacker number 0. I can't even think of his name right now.
Yeah, the dude they was calling
But
Debo. Yeah, he's tough.
Debo, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he's tough.
But yeah, so those guys, I mean, there's a lot to like, but they got to fix that offensive line.
Yeah, nah, I agree. I definitely agree. Let's move on over to FSU LSU last night.
Yeah.
That was the game of the weekend. That was the game everybody was talking about. That was the game everybody, was hyping up the whole weekend. Biggest game in college football, really. I don't
Hmm.
think nobody would even really argue about that. Two top, 10 teams or whatnot, which we're gonna talk about the rankings in a few seconds because I think LSU might be a little more fraudulent than what we thought they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that in a few seconds. But once again, big win for FSU. They go into Orlando, get a big dub. And I don't think a lot of people remember last year when FSU played LSU, they dominated in the first 3.5 quarters. They dominated them the first 3 quarters. They absolutely whooped LSU's butt. And LSU got hot in the fourth quarter. This time, first half of the game was really close, really competitive. And then, Keon Coleman happened. I mean, that guy, he's an absolute stud, man. I mean, he
Yeah.
had by himself 9 receptions, 122 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was tremendous. Johnny Wilson
Ooh.
had 7 catches, 104 yards. Now he had some drops too. He would have had more than that because Johnny Wilson
Hmm.
had about 2 or 3 drops as well. So yeah, I mean, I think Jordan Travis finally got it going. First half, he looked rough. I'm not gonna hold
Yeah,
you.
he did. Yeah, he did.
He looked
He
real
did.
scared. He looked rough. But in the second half, he 23 for 31, 342 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He looked really
Yeah.
good. So I can't lie there. He looked really good in the second half. Um, but yeah, I mean, Florida State, as Clemson fans, we've been hearing the hype all summer, and we're gonna talk about Clemson in a few minutes too, because they play tonight.
Yeah.
Um, we've been hearing the hype about Florida State. It's great. Florida State is back, and I'm not gonna lie, man. They definitely footing the bill right now. They definitely look like they have improved. Like I think them and Clemson probably
Yeah.
are on like the same level at this point. How do you feel about FSU? I know you said you fell asleep a little bit on the game,
Yeah.
and it got away at the end. Anything, anyways, man.
Yeah.
He didn't really miss much that last quarter or so, really
Yeah.
for real. How did you feel about FSU and how they looked?
Yeah. So basically, what you just said, man. The first half, it was deadlocked pretty much. They was going back and forth.
Yeah,
It was everything that it was built to be. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be a close game. Thought it was going to be a really good game. Um, and next thing I know, I'm waking up. Florida State done won by 21 points. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Um, and so I think Florida State is going to jump up in the rankings. They probably going to take LSU spot. They probably going to go to
yeah. They're
5.
moving up to 5, I would think. Yeah,
Yeah, they probably going to go to 5 because that's an impressive win on the.
it was
Was
a
it on the
neutral
road?
site. It was
It
a
was a
neutral
neutral
site
site.
game. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, impressive win, neutral site. Going up against an SEC team that me and you both had picked to make it to the championship, the SEC championship game this
Yep.
year. You know, um, I think that's huge for Florida State. I think that's huge for you know the ACC, but also for the teams that are trying to lead the ACC. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I think this is
Yep.
for Florida State. I think this is probably the best win that they could have possibly put together because
Absolutely.
now it says we not afraid. They not afraid to go to the SEC, the Big Ten, or just another big conference. They feel like they can hang,
Yep.
especially when they knocked off. If I'm not mistaken, LSU is the
Like
what they are they
fifth.
were they the
They're
second
the fifth. They're the fifth best team in the country.
were they the second highest ranked SEC team or were they third? Was Alabama ahead of them?
I believe Bama was ahead of them. Yeah, Bama was ahead of them.
Bama
Yep.
was at 4.
Yep.
Okay. But still, I mean, you knocked off a top
Still though,
three. Yeah,
yeah,
you still knocked off a top 5 team in the country,
yeah,
and so and they played in the championship game last year at
yeah,
LSU. So it's
yeah,
like that's good for really for college football, for the ACC, for Florida State. That's a huge win for that program, and I think the hype is real for those guys.
yeah,
It remains to be seen, which if you're ready to transition, but it remains to be seen what happens with Clemson tonight.
yeah, absolutely.
But right now, I would say, after yesterday, I don't think we can't say that Florida State shouldn't be a favorite right now to come
Yeah,
out the ACC.
yeah, for sure.
They
Nah, I was kind of hard on Florida State, and we'll go ahead and transition too. But after last night, they definitely showed me something. They definitely have
yeah.
improved. They definitely have gotten better up front too, as well. And they got the talent as far as like skill players, wide receiver wise, they're
Mm-hmm.
loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not gonna lie, that secondary is kind of Swiss cheese. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hmm.
Their secondary is not that good because only reason that LSU didn't have more big plays is because LSU wide receivers stink. And
Yeah, they was
Jayden
dropping
Daniels, I hate to call you out like this, brother. You stunk the other night ago, like
last night.
last night. He was not good. And I'm gonna tell another person. I said this yesterday. This guy's my favorite non-Clemson player. Harold Perkins, the other night ago, got exposed. I don't know what his deal was. He looked lost out there, like completely lost. And I think it was because they were using him more as a stand-up linebacker, and he's more of like a blitzing linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of almost like an edge rusher for real. And they
Yeah,
didn't use him like that last night. He looked rough. It was a brutal night for Harold Perkins. Like run wise, pass wise, it was brutal. He got abused. So, once again, that's my favorite player outside of like any Clemson player, but he got exposed.
yeah,
So it was a rough night for LSU, and it's season's not over for them. If they win out, they still gonna end up going to the playoffs. But I don't think that team is winning more than like 9 games. I think
right.
9 games is probably going to be their ceiling. I just don't see it. And it looks like it's probably going to be Bama because I thought Bama looked actually pretty good the other day ago with Jalen Milroe. So it's looking
Yeah,
like it's probably going to be Bama and Georgia down here in Atlanta.
again. Yeah,
Again, right. So we're gonna go ahead and start transitioning over to the game tonight, and then we're gonna get into NFL. We got Clemson and Duke tonight, 8:00 standalone game today. I'll just jump right into it. Me and Cam talked about this, on Saturday when we was with each other. This game now is going to be super overanalyzed. I'm just going to tell you now, as a Clemson fan, if you don't blow this team out by 50 points, it's going to be a sick time on the TL for the next 3 weeks. Because now everybody, for a Clemson fan, I love it. Everybody's putting Florida State on the pedestal. Everybody is. And deservingly so, bro. They beat a really good LSU team. I don't want to take nothing from them. But now, for me, at least as a Clemson fan, the pressure's on Florida State. It's no longer on Clemson. Everybody's picking Florida State to win.
Yeah.
We don't have any pressure. The pressure's on Florida State now. They got to come to Death Valley and beat us. We done been to the ACC championship 7 out of the last 8 years. We ain't got nothing to prove. Let's just be honest. The pressure's on Florida State at this point, because I'm telling you now, after what I seen last night, and let's see what we see tonight, going into 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, Florida State's probably going to be the favorite at Clemson, I would think.
Yeah.
Probably like a 3-point favorite. I think they're going to probably favor Florida State. And if that's the case, as a Clemson fan, I love it. Because now we can sit back, play the underdog card, which we haven't been able to do in almost a decade now, and say, hey, nobody cares about us no more. This whole summer, ain't nobody talk about us. Everybody been glorifying Florida State. We stink. We don't have wide receivers. Cade can't drop back in the pocket. He dropping back all the way to Alaska. We've been told we suck. So now it's a situation where you can just sit back and do you, because nobody believes in you. Yeah. Nobody believes in Clemson right now. So I feel like that's the perfect situation to be in, personally, is have everybody hyping up Florida State, you feel me, for the next 2 weeks, because Clemson got 2 walk in the park wins after the night. So pretty much after the night, it's going to be anticipation for Florida State Clemson. And I think Florida State got 2 walk in the parks between now and when we play. So I think for me tonight, I just want to see our offense look explosive. Like, that's really what I want to see personally. I want to see Cade look good. I want to see the wide receiver step up. This is not your little brother's Duke. This is a good Duke team. This is a team that won 9 games last year. So if Clemson only wins 35-24, don't be surprised. This is a good Duke team, man.
Yeah.
So once again, I think this game is going to be overanalyzed. And if Clemson don't win like 55-10, people are going to be saying we suck. Florida State's going to blow us out by 20. So I'm just preparing Clemson fans for that because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm of the same nature. I think we need to be blowing out Duke tonight, man.
Yeah,
like,
it would be nice.
No, you know what I'm saying? Duke. I feel like I had Duke ranked. You know what I'm saying? I had Duke. I think I had them at 25 in my rankings a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Duke is a good football team, man. They got some players on defense. They got, in my opinion, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the whole country, in Leonard. You know what I'm saying? But still, you know, the Clemson Tigers, they've been around for a while. You know what I mean? They're a top 10 team in the nation, you know, according to the rankings. So they need to play like a top 10 team. They need to blow out a team that's unranked in a Duke. You know what I'm saying? Looking at what North Carolina did to South Carolina the other day, Clemson needs to do something similar, if not more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really more. Yeah.
And so, in my opinion, for me, what I need to see tonight, I need to see Cade Klubnik. My eyes are on him all game. I'm not watching. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not. The defense, I am not worried about. If the defense give me some problems tonight, then I'll be worried. But I'm expecting the defense to do what Clemson's defense has done for the last 10 years.
They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and the defensive line is always loaded. You know what I'm saying?
Top 5 in the country as well. Yeah.
Secondary: Nate Wiggins, Andrew Makuba.
This is probably the best secondary Clemson has had.
Right, honestly. Sheridan Jones still there. Like, it's a squad.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the defense. You know what I'm saying? They're experienced. They should make some noise. They shouldn't really. Duke shouldn't even get 21 tonight. I'll just keep it a band.
I agree. Anything over 17, I'll be concerned, to be honest.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, facts. Yeah. But once again, back to it. Offense is really what I'm paying attention to. And I'm watching Cade Klubnik all night long. Yep. I gotta see it. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I'm a homer, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I love Clemson, but I got to see him. I got to see what he can do. He's got to look good. You feel me? So, that's really what I'm looking at tonight. I'm looking at what Cade Klubnik can do and which one of these wide receivers going to step up. Who going to help Antonio Williams? You know what I'm saying? What's the offense going to look like with Garrett Riley?
Yeah,
right? New offensive coordinator. We haven't seen it yet. You know, are we going to run the ball a lot? Are we going to air raid it? You know what I'm saying? What we going to look like tonight? I am super excited. I think this is a huge test for Clemson, not only just because it's their first game of the season, but because it shows where they're going to land in the ACC this year.
Yep.
You got Florida State that look really good. You got North Carolina who look pretty solid. Where is Clemson going to land? Are they going to be closer to Florida State or are they going to be closer to North Carolina? You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man. I think this is going to be a great game tonight. And yeah, all eyes on Clemson, man.
Yeah, all eyes will be on Clemson tonight, man, at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And once again, man, big weekend for the ACC, man. I mean, once again, FSU destroyed LSU. You know, I thought North Carolina took their foot off the gas on South Carolina. They could have beat them worse than they beat them. Honestly.
Probably, yeah.
To be real, I think the ACC went 2-1 overall. Virginia played Tennessee. Nobody expected, you know, Virginia to win that game. But in the big games that actually teams were actually kind of equivalent to, ACC went 2-0 this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think, you know, not saying the ACC is the best conference in the world, all that. We ain't saying none of that. But I think people need to kind of cut the SEC bias a little out because they kind of had a rough weekend this weekend.
Right.
You know, so I think people need to kind of chill out with the SEC bias because it was a rough weekend for them overall. Yeah. But let's go ahead and transition over to NFL. Week 1, I think the first game is Thursday, so we like 3 days away from the first game of the season between the Chiefs and the Detroit Lions out there in Kansas City. And we got some breaking news like an hour ago, maybe a little over an hour ago. Brian Burns, Carolina Panthers DN, is, I guess, holding in. So he's in the building, but he's not practicing. So he's going through his meetings. He's going through everything else but practicing because it's time to get paid, and he wants to get
Yeah.
paid. A lot of people speculated he was waiting on Joey Bosa to get paid, and Joey Bosa doesn't sound like he's nowhere near getting paid at this point. And there's a chance that Brian Burns may not play on Sunday if he doesn't get paid between now and probably Wednesday or Thursday. He's probably not going to play. So I guess what's your initial thoughts on this whole situation? What do you think about this whole Brian Burns situation? Because you didn't even know about this until Nick Bosa. I said Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa. But yeah, how do you feel about this whole situation?
Yeah, man. I think first and foremost, the Carolina Panthers need to stop playing around. Stop it. Go on to pay your mans. Go on to pay your mans. Like
they have no choice.
Stop the madness, bro. They turned down 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns.
Allegedly, possibly 3, from what I heard.
Yeah. So like you already know you when you release that information, he had all the power as soon as you released that information because that showed him and his agent that he was wanted in Carolina.
Yep.
And from a Carolina Panthers fan standpoint, it don't even make sense why he hasn't got paid yet. He should have been got his bag. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like not only is he your best, really he your best player on the whole doggone team. So it's like what makes sense? Why is he not paid yet? You know what I mean? So listen, man. Brian Burns, you need your bag. Now I do want to see more out of Burns. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, what he's shown us so far constitutes, enough for him to be paid like a high-end defensive end, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, edge rusher. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs that bag. He's a Pro Bowl player. You know what I'm saying? He's all pro caliber player. I think he's gonna go crazy in this Israel Evero defense. Mm-hmm. So please, Carolina, stop the madness and just pay him, man. So you know what I'm saying? Just pay him.
They don't have a real choice. Let's just be honest here. You turned down 3 first-round picks from the Los Angeles Rams, apparently. It's Jover. You gotta pay him. He has he literally could say, write me a blank check or I ain't playing. You have no choice. You've already said you ain't giving up to him for picks. The leverage was over when that happened. It was over.
Yep.
So I don't know why they're waiting on Nick Bosa. Go ahead and pay that man. I will have him in my office today saying, hey, bro, let's go ahead. What you want? Let's just get it over with. Let's go ahead and pull it on out and get it over with. And go ahead and pay that man. You know what I'm saying? I think somewhere in the $24 million a year ballpark is kind of what I would think for him. $24 million, somewhere in there, between 24 and 22 million. I think that's kind of where he's at. But I think, especially with Marquise Haynes being out for this game this week, you got to have Burns, bro. If you don't have Burns, you're going to go out there with Justin Houston and Gross Matos. Stop it. You're going to get ran through, and Desmond Ridder going to be sitting in the backfield all day picking you apart. And I don't even like Desmond Ridder, but I'm just going to keep it real. If he's sitting back there making a picnic, of course he's going to have a good game.
Right.
So, yeah, the deal got to be done, and it shouldn't even have took this long. The deal should have been done, just to be honest. But let's go ahead and jump into, I know you say we're going to jump into the NFL stuff now, so I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of take over.
Yeah, bro. So, basically, what we finna do really, I'm just going to ask you, man, straight up, let's get into it. We're going to talk about every single division in the NFL. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to talk about who we got winning it. We're going to talk about who we got coming in last. All right. Okay. So, let's just get into it. To be honest with you, man, since we already talking about the Panthers, let's start with the NFC South. Okay. So who do you have? Who is your order? What do you think the NFC South is going to look like this season?
Panther fans are not going to like me. So if you're a Panther fan, go ahead and get off the pod right now because you're not going to like what I'm about to say. I have the Saints winning the division. Here's why. The Saints still have a veteran presence on that defense side of the ball. They have Demario Davis. They have Marcus Lattimore. They have Cam Jordan. They still have a lot of things on defense that are both effective, older, I will admit older, but also as well they bring a good veteran presence and they are still good. Like they're still playing very high-level football. So I am going to have to say I think the Saints win this division. because for one, they do have the experience at quarterback. Hate to say it, Derek Carr, he's not the greatest quarterback on earth, but he does have the experience. Michael Thomas, I'm not really sure on him quite yet because he's been injured, but when he does play, he's elite. He's really good. Chris Olave had a tremendous year last year. I could see the Saints team winning like 10 games. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I would put Saints at number 1. I would put the Panthers at number 2, at winning about 8 or 9 games. Right? I think the division comes down to a game or so because everybody's right there. Excuse me. I think with the Panthers, my main concern has been all offseason, they don't have a wide receiving core that is going to scare anybody. Anybody. So when you're playing against the Panthers, you can put 8 in the box and say, Blitz Bryce, little 5'2" tail. Get after him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're going to do. Because I'm not scared of Adam Thielen at the age of 33. I'm not scared of DJ Chark at the, it's no offense. I wish him nothing but the best of luck. I actually like him. He's just injury prone. He turned one way, his hamstring going to be tweaked. I'm not scared of Chenault. He can't run but one route. If you're a defense, I say put 7 in the box, 8 in the box, and say, all right, beat us, wide receivers. I'm going to need y'all to beat us. You got a rookie quarterback, and that's my main thing is the Saints have the defense to do that. That's why I'm not picking the Panthers to win the division. The Saints have the defense to do that. To say, hey, we're going to put 8 in the box and tell Bryce and the wide receivers get open. Because I think we talk about how bad the O-line was in the preseason, but one of the main reasons the O-line was bad, you guys, is because the wide receivers weren't getting no separation. That was the real problem, if we're going to be honest. Everybody worry about the O-line. The real problem is not one wide receiver on that Panthers core could get any separation. Mingo, Chenault, Thielen, none of them. Chark, none of them could get any separation. That was the real issue. I have no concerns with Bryce. I'm going to be honest. This whole preseason, he looked like the most experienced player on the field on the offense most of the time. I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm the Panthers, I'm daring you to beat me through the air. Next up at 3, I got the Atlanta Falcons. I do not understand the Atlanta Falcons hype. I don't get it. I think this team is going to win 5 games. I do not see that. I think they're going to be picking top 10 again, honestly. I don't really get the hype on the Falcons. Yes, they picked up Jesse Bates, but how much is picking up a safety really going to determine how many wins you're going to get? Let's be real. They picked up Calais Campbell. He need to be heading to the retirement office. It's Jover, brother. You 36. Go take care of your family. Desmond Ridder. I do not understand the Desmond Ridder hype. I thought he was mid in college. I think he's mid now. Nothing has changed. And I'm going to say something that's going to be real controversial. Don't be surprised if Taylor Heineke is they starting quarterback by like week 10. Do not be surprised. Because I'm not too far to say Taylor Heineke ain't better than Desmond Ridder, to be honest. B. John Robinson, I think he's going to be really good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see the hype with them. They talk about, Atlanta has all these weapons. Where they at, though? What Pitts that they don't know how to use? They haven't known how to use him since Arthur Smith walked in the building.
Yeah.
Bijan and Algier is really the only 2 true weapons they have. I like Drake London. I'll give Drake London is a weapon too. I'll say that as well. But I don't really see why Atlanta is getting a whole bunch of hype. I don't get it personally. I think the Panthers are a step ahead of Atlanta, in my opinion. And then at the last position, I got the Bucks. I think they're looking for Caleb Williams. That team's not winning more than 4 games this year. I don't even got nothing else to say about them. They trash. So that's how I would do it. So again, I would go Saints, Panthers, a little bit of a drop-off. Then I would say Falcons, and then a little bit of a drop-off again, honestly, Buccaneers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything you said, literally everything, that's my order too.
Okay.
And that's just
I thought you were going to Panther up. I ain't going to lie.
No.
I thought you were going to Panther up.
So my thing is I had the Panthers winning it before the preseason
Yeah.
because I thought that the offensive line was going to play fine. I thought the
Mhm.
wide receivers were going to be better than what they look like.
Mhm.
It's preseason, so I'm not overreacting. I'm not trying to panic, but I
Yep.
think there's little cause for alarm or
Yep.
cause for concern there. Okay, so and the Saints, they just like you said, it's just the experience, man.
Yep.
They got the most experienced quarterback in the division. They have, um, they got probably the best defense in the division, I would
Yep.
say. So I would say the Saints at 1, the Panthers at 2. Basically everything that you just said. I think Bryce is honestly going to carry that offense this year. I think
I
he's going to make
agree.
it look better than what it really is.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then and we also
100%.
didn't see what Miles Sanders did because he didn't play in the preseason. So I think they're going to be better than what we saw. I think they're
Yep.
going to run the ball a lot, and Sanders is a really good running back. So I think we'll be fine. The Falcons. Now I will say I don't buy the hype on the Falcons, but I think they're going to win. They're probably going to get 7 again. Is what they won the last 3 years.
Mhm.
I don't think they really got any worse this offseason. So it's just really just depends on what happens with Desmond Ritter. If he's just stable, I think they
I
could
think
get.
my
I
main
think they can get
holdback
6
is
or 7.
Ritter.
Yeah, I
That's my
understand.
main holdback is Ritter.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
the kid's
understand.
any good. Like
Yeah,
that's the true, honest opinion. Why I only have them winning like 6 games. Like I
yeah,
just do not think Ritter's any good, bro. I think 7 is probably their max, maybe 8. I
yeah.
don't see the hype with them though. But go ahead, my bad. I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you good, you good. But no, I agree. I think because I just like I said, Arthur Smith. Um, Listen, if they don't get more than 7 wins this year, he pretty much gonna be on the. He pretty much fired.
Yeah,
Um, if they don't get more than 7, because that's all he's. That's and 7's not a bad win total. Don't get me wrong. Like it's really not terrible, but they didn't pick top 10. What 2 years in a row? 3 years in a
yeah,
row now?
three,
More?
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, you gotta do something, man. And then like you said, Buccaneers should be the number 1 pick this year, if not the number 2 pick. One of
yeah.
them, one of those two. They're not good. They
No,
got too many. They got too many injuries. Their best players are wide receivers, and unfortunately, those wide receivers are dependent on Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. I'm sorry, Buccaneers fans, if you listening, y'all going 3-14 this year, 4 and
yeah,
13. It's not
yeah,
looking good, man.
yeah.
Now y'all might mess around and surprise me. I don't know, but it ain't
Right.
looking good. It ain't looking good for y'all, man. I'm sorry. Which
Yeah.
is crazy because y'all going from first to last. But hey, but let's move on. Let's go to let's talk about the NFC East right now. And I
Okay.
think I set this one up because I feel like me and you might have the same
Okay.
list here too.
Okay.
Um, so I'll tell you. Let me give you mine. So I got for the NFC East. So I got the Eagles at 1, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles. Honestly, I keep it a band with you. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, at least in the NFC.
They
I
definitely
think,
are in the NFC, I think for sure. Yeah.
yeah, on in the NFC for sure. I think on paper they should. They on paper they're the best team.
Yeah.
Obviously, other teams in the AFC got crazy, 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 crazy quarterbacks that just change the dynamic of how they win games. But the Eagles got a bad, what him in Jalen Hurts. So hey,
Yeah.
give me the Eagles at 1. At 2, I got the Cowboys. I think
Mhm.
the Cowboys gonna suit up one of the better defenses in the NFL once again. And really the Cowboys, the only thing holding them back, I hate to say it, but if Dak Prescott don't stop throwing them picks, you know what I'm saying? If he can just turn down them picks, they can compete for,
Mhm.
that 5th seed in the NFC, which is basically, a top seed because, obviously
Right.
the Eagles gonna win the division. Um but the Cowboys, man, they have no excuse really. I mean, they got everything that they could possibly want. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
got the quarterback, they got the running back, crazy elite wide receivers, to be honest with you. Good tight
Mhm.
end, elite offensive line, elite defense. There's no reason why the Dallas Cowboys shouldn't be competing for a Super Bowl year in and year out. There's absolutely no reason. You know what I mean? If they don't make it to at least the NFC Championship game, they need to fire McCarthy because there's just no excuse, in my opinion. Um, and they need to question on Dak Prescott because once again, you got to stop throwing picks. Um, Third, I got the New York Giants. I know I'm a little bit higher on the Giants than you are. I know we talked about this before. But I like what the Giants have done, man. I think they got one of the best coaches in the NFL, and Brian Daboll. I think Daniel Jones, you know what I'm saying, it's a hot take incoming, but I think he might finish the season as a top 10 quarterback. I think Saquon, yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
have to eat you
Yeah,
up on
man.
that one.
Yeah,
Nah,
man.
nah.
Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on.
Oh my
Hold on,
God.
let me finish. Like I said, man, because once again, I'm gonna explain my reasoning behind that. Because once
Okay.
again, the way I look at it, all right, and we talked about I might not have talked about this to you before, but Brian Daboll turned Josh Allen into a top 5 quarterback.
Mhm.
Okay. And Josh Allen was a bottom 5 quarterback. I mean, he basically did it overnight. Now, obviously they added Stephon Diggs too. Okay. That's
Right.
a huge,
Right.
huge plus. You know what I'm saying? But he did that for Josh Allen. I think he can turn Daniel Jones into a very good quarterback.
Mhm.
Serviceable plus. Okay. I think he'll be very, very, very good this year. What I seen him do in the preseason against the Panthers, once again, I know Panthers kind of suck, but what he does against the Panthers, he impressed me, man. I think he can be, at least a top 12 to 10 quarterback this year. I think he's going to finish the season there. All right. And then last place, I got the Commanders. I mean, this is a good division. I think all of these teams are really good.
Yeah.
Commanders got a good defense. Offensively, they kind of in the same boat as the Falcons. They got a talent. They got talent on offense. They just quarterback is a big question. But I do think that they're a better team than the Falcons are. I would say. You know what I'm saying?
As well. I
So
agree.
I think the East is a really good division. I think all of these teams are very good. The Commanders, they're probably gonna finish last, but I think they're gonna get at least 7 wins. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's how I would do the East.
Okay. So NFC, I got the same exact order. I have,
Okay.
Philly probably getting like anywhere between 12 to 14 wins. I think they're going to
Yeah.
be pretty good. At 2, I do have as well the Cowboys. Once again, I agree with everything you said. The Cowboys are too good not to be going to the NFC Championship almost every year. Like I know we
Mhm.
all like laugh and joke about Cowboys. That team is really good. Like it's
Mhm.
talent wise, they drafted very well. Like it's not translating to wins, which is unfortunate for them. But I mean, great for us. But it's just not really translating to wins. I got the Giants at that 3 position like you do. I like the Giants a little bit, not as much as you do though. Daniel Jones, you saying Daniel Jones will be top 10, bro? That's the most ludicrous thing I ever heard you say, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I had to cut you off on that, bro. Listen, has Daniel Jones improved? Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
he absolutely before last year, he was like a bottom 5 starter. I would put him in like that 20 area now, like 20. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in there. Could he make a leap possibly to 16? Yeah. I can see him doing something like that. But up into the top 10, oh no.
Yeah, man. So
I don't care what Dayball did. Dayball could put him in the end zone. He ain't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I can't see that one. I'm gonna be real with you. I think for one, his talent is way more limited than Josh
Then
Allen.
Josh
For
Allen.
one,
Yeah,
Josh
I
Allen
agree.
has the size, the arm power, the speed, the mobility, all that. And then on top of that, who the heck is Daniel Jones throwing to? Darius Slayton?
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
not going to make him a whole bunch better. Like, no disrespect to Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have any wideouts. Jalen Hyatt, maybe he might get better, but he's a rookie. I just don't see where that step because, like you just said, Josh Allen got better once Diggs showed up to town.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they go out there and let's just say they get T. Higgins or something like that, and he ball out, then I might could see it. But for you to say Daniel Jones, you can see him making the jump. I can't see that, brother. I'm sorry.
Remember also they added Darren Waller at tight end. Now he's a great tight end, but now he got injury issues though. But
right.
but they got an improved receiving core. It's still not like crazy good.
It's
You know what I'm
bottom
saying?
five.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's
still
still
not
bottom
great,
5.
but
Yeah.
but I think it's something, and we'll probably talk about this another day. get back to the Daniel Jones talk, we'll probably talk about
Yeah, that's a whole topic. Because
yeah,
I played
which I
against Daniel Jones in high school a decade ago. So I know a lot
yeah,
about Daniel Jones. I've been playing against
yeah,
him since we was kids. And
yeah,
like I said, when I stepped on the field against Jair Alexander, DJ Humphreys, guys like that, you could tell they was going to the NFL. When I stepped on
right,
that field with Daniel Jones, I had no fear. I was like, this dude
right.
he ain't like to me. I'm surprised he even doing this good in the NFL because when I played against him in high school, I
Oh,
just
me
didn't
too.
see it.
Yeah, me too.
I just didn't see it, to be
Yeah,
honest. But yeah, we
I
can go
didn't.
ahead and move on. My bad.
Yeah, no, you good, you good.
Yep.
No, so you got the Commanders finishing last.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
got the
you was at.
Commanders finishing last. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay,
Same order.
okay. Got you. Word. So let's move on to the NFC West.
Okay.
I think this is a really good division. And I got a hot take coming in here for you, but go ahead with the NFC West.
Oh Lord.
I'll let you go.
Okay. So the NFC West, I think you will probably agree with this as well. I think the 49ers are going to be the number one team in that division. They're just loaded. They got even better because they got Javon Hargrave from the Eagles. So they've gotten even better on defense now. I have them at my number one in the NFC West. They're going to be really good, especially with Brock Purdy. If he can continue to build on what he did last year, Christian McCaffrey now has been there for a full year. So I think they're going to be pretty good. I would probably put them at my number one slot there. I think I can see them win like 12, 13 games, honestly, to be real with you. Really good coaching, Kyle Shanahan. We already know this. But yeah, I would have them at number one. At number two, for me, I'm going to go ahead and put the Seattle Seahawks. I can see them getting like 10 wins like they did last year. That wide receiving core is actually really freaking stacked, especially if JSN can stay healthy. Lockett, Metcalf, and JSN is crazy. I think Kenneth Walker is going to have a better year this year. They picked up Zach Carbonet in the draft, UCLA former running back who was really good. I think they could be a dynamic duo. And also as well, that defensive back room is crazy. They got Devon Witherspoon and also as well Tariq Woolen. Yeah, that secondary is pretty freaking real. So I'm not going to lie. I think I got them at number two. Then at number three, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams are going to be bad this year. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was something the other day ago where Matt Stafford's wife came out and was pretty much saying like, you know, Matt not really gelling well with the team, pretty much. Like with the younger guys, he can't relate to them. And that team's already lost a lot of talent. They lost Leonard Floyd. They lost Jalen Ramsey. They lost a lot this year already. And then now Cooper Kupp got this whole hamstring issue going on. So he might not be ready week one. I just do not see this team winning any more than like 6 games. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're about to go into a rebuild mode. They've been doing all them F-this picks, and now it's blowing up in their face. So now they're at a point now where they sold out to get that one ring, and then they're probably going to be trash for a while. So in my opinion, man, I think they're going to be the number 3 team. And then at number 4, I think the Cardinals may be the worst team in the NFL. Just to be completely transparent with you, I have them last. I don't think they win any more than like 3 games this year.
Yeah, I agree. So on my list, man, so I do have the 49ers finishing first. But I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think they run away with the division. I think the Seahawks will be right on their heels.
I think they're gonna be on their heels too. I agree.
Yeah, I got that. So that was really gonna be my hot take. The Seahawks, like I think it's gonna be like whatever the 49ers what they finish with. I think they finished with maybe 11 or 12 wins. I think the Seahawks gonna get 10 or 11. I think they're gonna be right there behind them. Yeah. The Seahawks, man, they loaded, bro. They loaded. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They if Geno Smith continues his resurgence, look out, man, because you can already say really in terms of health, they got the best quarterback in the division with Geno. You know, Stafford. You know, we'll see what he looks like, but the Rams just ain't got nothing going for him, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He pretty much gonna be a non-factor just because of how he pretty much playing what he was playing with in Detroit. We pretty much put it that way. So I do have the Rams finishing third. Cardinals finishing last. They're gonna be the first pick. But back to the Seahawks, man. Like you said, probably the most stacked wide receiver room in the league, other than maybe the Bengals.
Yeah. I was about to say to me, it's better the Bengals than them.
Honestly. They stacked, man. Like DK Metcalf, top 15 wide receiver. Tyler Lockett, probably one of the most underrated wide receivers of this generation.
Yeah,
absolute stud. And then JSN once again. A dog, bro, coming out of Ohio State, bro. So, if in my opinion, so this is really where my hot take comes into play.
Okay.
If Brock Purdy gets injured, or if he just comes back down to earth, the Seahawks win the division. That's my hot take. Because
that's really not that crazy, to be honest. It kind of is, but it's hot. It's hot. Don't get me wrong.
It's hot.
I don't think that's because I think for me at least, I've seen Seattle improve this offseason.
Yes.
Now, granted, the Niners have too, but I think the Seahawks are closing the gap. So I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest with you, especially if Brock Purdy comes down to earth and gets hurt and they got to put Sam Darnold out there. Like, yeah, I could definitely see something going bad.
Exactly, man. That's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that quarterback situation is good enough. Now, once again, Brock Purdy continues his journey and he continues to grow and develop.
Yep.
You know, I think they got rid of the most talented quarterback they had on the roster, unfortunately. But I think if Purdy, if he's exactly what Shanahan says he is and gasses him up to be, they'll be fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but the Seahawks, man, they also added back Bobby Wagner. They ended up getting Bobby Wagner back, if I'm not mistaken. So
they did.
They loaded, man. I like the Seahawks this year, bro. But we can move on, though. That's the NFC West. So 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. We agree there. Cardinals probably number 1 pick, 3 wins. Clayton Tune or Josh Dobbs, they quarterback. Sorry, y'all. Cardinals fans, I'm sorry. I really am. And we actually, let me ask you this too real quick, because I posed this question a couple of days ago. But if the Cardinals do end up with the number 1 pick, is it Caleb or is it trade?
If the Cardinals end up with the number 1 pick, you absolutely take Caleb Williams. And here's why. Kyler Murray, you just gave him a contract, a year ago, and you were already putting clauses in there of you need to watch your playbook, you need to watch film. I'm going to be honest. If I even had to put a clause in there for a player like that, I'm not signing him. I'm just going to be real with you. And for me, Kyler Murray is a perennial. He kind of floats around that 11, 12 area as far as like ranking and quarterback. To me, he kind of floats around that area, around like 11, 12, 13. And if you get Caleb Williams, this guy could be generational. For me, I think you could really accomplish both. Get Caleb Williams and then trade Kyler Murray. Let's say we're looking at an example of, I'm trying to think of a team that's just a quarterback away. Let's say Tampa Bay, right? Let's use Tampa Bay for example. Let's say Atlanta even.
Yeah.
Atlanta was interested in Kyler Murray. Say next year they got everything ready, the O-line, the defense, the wide receivers, everything's ready. We just need a quarterback. You don't think the Falcons or the Buccaneers will throw picks at them to say, hey, let's get Kyler Murray? They're going to at least probably get at least 1 first-round pick off them for a quarterback? Yeah, I can see that happening. So I think for me, if that comes to play, you got to get Caleb Williams. He's going to be cheaper for you. He's also going to be able to develop with you. I think to me, it's a no-brainer, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. When you introduce the, kind of the idea that you can trade Kyler Murray and still get a haul for picks, I think that's probably the smartest option. And so really, I think that's what the Cardinals probably going for anyway.
And the Cardinals, not to cut you off, the Cardinals are going to have 2 high picks because they did the trade with Houston.
So
if Houston stinks this year, it's a possibility the Cardinals can have the number 1 and the number 2 pick. It is a very real possibility that could happen.
Yeah.
If they do that, they're set.
They playing chess, not checkers, man. That's really good for them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on real quick to the NFC North.
Yep.
So for me, I got the Vikings winning the division.
Okay.
And once again, it's really just they got, in my opinion, they got the best player in football, Justin Jefferson, or one of the best, But they got for sure the best player in the division, best wide receiver in the league, game changer. Kirk Cousins, as far as quarterback play goes, he's pretty solid. He's stable. I'm not even gonna hate on Kirk no more because he do okay until it's playoff time. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the Vikings, man, I just think they got a squad, man. I think they gonna they got the most experience in the division. So yeah, I like them to win it. The Lions will be next. I think the Lions are a team to look out for to potentially even win that division. You feel me?
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, they just if their defense just improves upon what they did last year, and if that offense just stays high scoring, you know, just big time. They added Jameer Gibbs, you know what I'm saying? They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got Jameson Williams who gonna come back after serving a suspension. They
Yeah.
got what's my man name, bro? The other receiver, bro. I can't even think of his name, but he's solid. Is it Marvin
Oh,
Jones still there?
who?
Marvin Jones
You know,
still there,
Mark?
right?
You no, is he still there? I thought he was with
I think
Jacksonville.
so.
Okay, I know for a fact. You talking about Amon St. Brown? Is that what you talking about?
Yeah, I said him first. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
got him. Yeah, they got him. They got Williams. Regardless, they got a good team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they added Sam Laporta, I believe, in the
Yep.
draft. So,
In the draft. Mhm.
um, so they got a good squad, man. So I think the Lions finished second. Bears finished third. Okay,
Mhm.
and I think this is gonna be. I think that top three race. I really think it could go in either way. I think the
Mhm.
Bears. I think the Bears, if they offense just plays how Bears fans think their offense is going to play, they have a shot. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's an outside shot, but they have a shot. I think ultimately they're going to finish third because that defense kind of stinks.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, they're going to finish third, I think. And then last, I got the Packers simply because we just don't know what Jordan Love going to look like.
Right.
Um, I I think he's gonna look good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he can look good.
Yeah.
What I've seen in preseason, he don't look like he's sorry. Like he don't look like Desmond
He
Ritter.
look. He looks
You know what I
improved
mean?
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he don't look like he gonna be terrible. You know, it
Mhm.
just depends on how everything kind of fits together. So,
Right.
but that would be me. I got Vikings, Lions, Bears, Packers.
So this is gonna be the first time we disagree. I actually have the Lions winning that division. I like
Okay.
Jared Goff. He had a tremendous year last year. When you look at the stats from last year, Jared Goff was top 10 in pretty much every single passing stat.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff is extremely underrated. I got Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions getting like 10 wins and getting to the playoffs this year. So I got them getting in. I got after that Vikings. I think the Vikings take a step back. There, I do like the Addison, Justin Jefferson. That actually might be an upgrade from Adam Thielen, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So I
Yeah.
do like that addition, but they lost a lot on defense. Now the Danielle Hunter is still there, but they did lose like Zadarius Smith, so on and so forth. So they lost some things as well. Eric Kendricks, he left as well. So they lost a lot on defense
Mm.
that I just don't really see that they've improved that. So
Yeah.
I have them coming in at number 2. I think they still make the playoffs. I think they're like 9-8. I think they can still get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
At 3, I'm taking the Packers to get 3.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I like Jordan Love. I do not like that wide receiving core. I didn't like
Yeah.
Jordan Love coming out of the draft, but I like what I seen him in the preseason. He definitely
Yeah.
looks improved, and I think we're really about to see if that Matt LaFleur dude is really the quarterback, offensive guru that everybody hypes him up to be. We about to find out. But I think they don't make the playoffs. Though. I think they only can get like 7 wins or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
not Detroit. I got Chicago coming in last. I'm not believing. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna be honest. There's gonna be an unpopular thing I'm about to say for Panther fans. If Justin Fields can only run the ball again this year and really can't put it in the air, we gotta have a conversation. I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
be honest. Like, yeah, it's cool that he's running for 1,000 some yards. That's dope. But he only had like 2,000 yards passing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if he can't get me at least 3K this upcoming season, now since you got DJ Moore, Mooney, like you actually have weapons now, and your defense has improved. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have a conversation about Justin Fields, bro. If he don't do
Yeah.
good this year, that's just the truth. But that's my order. I would have it: Lions, Minnesota, Packers, Bears, last.
Word. So yeah. So we kind of we disagree there a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
um, but at the same time, that NFC North division, I think it's gonna be a lot better
Yeah,
and closer than what people think. You know what I
it
mean? I
is.
like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not totally counting the Packers out. I don't think they win it. I don't think they
No.
make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna be trash. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't think they're gonna
I mean, they
be.
still
They
have
can,
Jair Alexander and guys like
right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
They can get 6. They can get 7
Yeah, they can
wins.
get 6 or
You know what I
7
mean?
wins.
I don't think they're gonna be a terrible team. I think it's just gonna be a down year for them once they get
Yep.
more help on at wide receiver and really just kind of just keep growing. I think they can
Mhm.
be good.
Yeah.
But let's move to the AFC real quick.
Yep.
Let's talk about the AFC South. So, give me your picks to win. What do you think the AFC South is going to look like?
So my AFC South order would be Jaguars first. I think they're the best team in that division. They have the most experience at the quarterback position in that division, and yeah, I would put them at number 1. At number 2, this is where things get kind of interesting because I feel like Tennessee, Colts, and even a little bit of Houston. I kind of feel like they all in that same like ballpark, if that makes sense. So for me, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go with Tennessee because they've proven it a little bit more. They do still have a pretty good defense. So I'm putting Tennessee at number 2. Then at number 3, I'm gonna go ahead and put the Colts. I think Anthony Richardson's actually gonna have a pretty decent rookie year. And then at number 4, I'm gonna go ahead and put Houston. I still think Houston has a long way to go before they get to really being relevant. To be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree, man. Yeah, I got the same lineup that you do. You said Jags, Titans, Colts, Texans, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exact order. Yep.
Jags, it should be their year, man. They shouldn't have
Yeah.
no problem with
Yeah. They
in
should
in
win
the
that.
South
They should win that division with ease.
with
Honestly.
ease. Yeah,
Yeah.
they should. Jaguars should be looking at 11 or 12 wins this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that should be where they at, man.
Yeah.
Titans is tough, man, because they just when you really look at them on paper, it's like, okay, they got a solid defense. They got one of the best running backs in the league in Derrick Henry. They got one of the best wide receivers in the league now in DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback is really kind of where they struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
If Tannehill is healthy, if that offensive line does what they should do, if they block, you know what I'm saying, if they just remain stable, the Titans should finish second in this division.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are expecting Tannehill to actually be benched this season, and so that's probably gonna drop them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think they're gonna finish second. The Colts, man, they, in my opinion, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
The AFC South teams are kind of hard to read. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Exactly. They hard to read because it's
Jonathan kind of said it. That division sucks. Like I know the NFC South. I know the NFC South gets a lot of slack, but the AFC South is pretty bad.
They're bad, man. They're bad. Yeah. Like I'm looking at the list now. They probably the worst division in football. You know what I'm saying?
The NFC South, honestly, the hand and foot. I would probably put NFC South a little bit above.
Yeah, I think the NFC South better, man. Well, I think that the thing is the AFC South has the Jaguars and they're legitimate playoff teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that will probably put them above. But again, they got two of the worst teams in the league in the Colts and the Texans. So it's tough, man. But I think the Colts just finished a little bit better just because I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know why. I mean, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to get a read on them, man. Like my man said, it depends on how fast AR reads defense and how well he gets the ball, and uses his feet. So, I mean, and the Colts lost. They're not going to have Jonathan Taylor maybe even for the whole year, depending on how that. Depending on how that works. So, hey, the Texans, I think they finished last just because they needed a lot last year and they really sorry.
They still got a long way to go, bro.
Yeah, man. I just they got a long way to go, but I think they're gonna be super exciting to see what they rookies do. Tank Dell, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, which nobody's talking about him for some reason this offseason. But yeah. So let's move on to the AFC East. I'll go first here. So I think the AFC East is a really good division, man. And ultimately, I think the Bills win the division again.
Yeah.
I think the Bills is most experienced team. Really got the best quarterback in the division, I would say. And I think that goes a long way in helping this team. But I also think that the Bills need to be a team to watch out for because, they not getting enough slander, in my opinion, for what happened in January.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Yeah.
They not getting enough, man. A home playoff game in the snow, which is what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what
Right.
they wanted, and they let somebody come in there and embarrass them. So, I'm watching out for you, Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're, well, I get to that a little bit later, but the Bills win it. I think the Jets actually finished in second place. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Jets, man, they're just so improved. They're loaded right now on offense. They're loaded.
Defense too.
Yeah, even on
Yeah.
defense, like the Jets, in my opinion, have the only excuse that the Jets have is that this is their first year together. You know what I'm saying?
And
That's the
that O
only
line
excuse
is a
that they
little
have.
questionable too.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But other than that, man, if the Jets if they mesh well and they put it all together year one, there's no reason why the Jets can't make it to the AFC Championship game, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Like they're good, man. So yeah, I got the Jets finishing second. I think the Dolphins are also really good offensively, even defensively. They got a squad, man.
Yeah.
You got for starters, let's just name who they got on offense. Speed kills, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They got the rookie A Chain. They got Jeff Wilson. I think he on IR right now. They
Yeah.
got Mostert. You know what I'm saying? They got a squad. Them boys can run. And they got Tua Tagovailoa, who I think, when healthy, is a top 10 quarterback.
He
Okay.
did really good last year when he was
He was
healthy.
amazing. He was amazing
Yeah.
until he kept getting hit in the head, which I
Yeah.
pray that it don't happen again this year because I think
Right.
he need to go on and retire if it do. But hey,
Yeah. I
um,
agree.
and on defense, Christian Wilkins, Jalen Ramsey. You know what I'm saying?
Xavier
Golly.
Howard.
Yes, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bradley Chubb.
Just
Like yeah.
they loaded, bro.
Javon
So
Holland.
the Dolphins, man. There's just no reason. Again, these AFC East teams, man. There's no reason why none of these teams should not make it to the AFC Championship game. I know
Yeah.
it's only 2 slots, but I think the East, man, they got 3 of the best teams in the league. They
Yeah.
got 3 top 10 teams in the league, in my opinion. So the Dolphins are going to be great this year, or really good this year. I think they get 9 or 10 wins. You know what I'm saying? Jets, Bills should be pushing for 12 or 13.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Finishing last in the division, New England Patriots. This is gonna be the worst year they've had in a long time. But they're a good team too, if we're being completely honest with you. On defense,
Yeah, on
on
defense.
on defense, they're a solid team.
Mhm.
Offensively, they got a good running back in Stevenson.
They just added Zeke too.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so they got Zeke. They got Ezekiel Elliott. Wide receiver core, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Quarterback Matt Jones, easily the worst in the division, and I think that's what really essentially is what's going to hold them back.
Yeah.
They're just not going to score enough points this year, I don't think. I think a lot of Patriots games, final score going to be 20-13, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be something so low. But yeah, the Pats, they can mess around and get 6 wins this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be the worst thing they had in a long time.
Yeah, I got the same exact order as you, bro. I got Bills at 1. I got the Jets at number 2. The Jets, I think, could be like a 12-win team this year. Because when you look at the Jets, man, the only thing that concerns me is that O-line. They're stacked on D-line. They're stacked at linebacker. They're stacked in the secondary. They're stacked at wide receiver. They're stacked at running back. They have a top 10 quarterback now. They're stacked. The only place they're lacking is O-line. If they figure that out, I would about put, if they had a decent O-line, I would put them over the Bills right now, bro. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Yeah. No, I agree.
If the Jets had an O-line, I'd put them above. In my opinion, I would put them above the Bills, but they don't. So that's their main concern. But yeah, I agree with everything else you said. I would put them at 2, and then like I said, I put Dolphins at 3. Once again, extremely talented team, defense and offensive line. Now I know Jalen Ramsey won't be back until like December.
I forgot about
But
that.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
I still think that. I mean, they still got Xavier Howard, Javon Hallman. They still got some really good secondary pieces. So I still think they're gonna be really good. And then, like you said, the Patriots they don't have the firepower. They don't have any
No.
weapons at the wide receiver position. Kendrick Bourne and Juju ain't gonna be able to get it done. I don't think Mac Jones is really good at all, honestly. I think he's a below average quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have enough. So I can see them win like 5-6 games. That's about it because that defense is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a shame because that defense is legit.
Yeah, the Patriots
But
are pretty much going to be in the same position that the Broncos have been in the last couple of
yeah,
years. Horrible
yeah,
offense, good defense.
great
What
defense.
it
Yeah,
is.
tough. Speaking of Broncos, let's go ahead and move on to the AFC West.
Yep.
You go ahead, give me yours for the West.
So for me, I think we all know Chiefs at 1. I don't even need to talk
Yeah,
about that. I'm putting Chiefs
yeah,
at number 1. I think they're going to be the best team probably in the NFL, if not second best behind the Eagles.
yeah.
2, I have I'm gonna go ahead and say the Chargers.
Okay.
I don't know if I quite trust the Broncos yet, even with Sean Payton. Their defense is good. I don't like that wide receiving core like that much, honestly, for the Broncos. Cortland Sutton is the most overrated player in the NFL. I do not understand why he gets a lot of hype. He is not good. I do not get it. To me personally, I think he's a below average starting wide receiver. I would go ahead and put them at 3, obviously, and then at 4, I would go ahead and put the Oakland Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me. I just think I don't trust Josh McDaniels. I think he's an absolute fraud, and I do not think he's a good coach at all whatsoever. And then on top of that, I don't think they have the weaponry really to compete with those other teams in the AFC West. To be honest, okay, you have Tate Adams, probably second best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't think nobody would deny that. Josh Jacobs, one of the top 5 running backs probably in the NFL. But besides that, what else you got? Like, and Jimmy G, he lied to be hurt in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So like, not trying to be rude, I'm like just keeping it real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, bro, I gotta put them at 4.
Yeah. So I agree. You got the same order I got, man. Chiefs, you got Patrick Mahomes. When you're the Chiefs, the Chiefs are the Chiefs right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're the top dog. They got to be number 1. I got the Chargers finishing second in the division. Once again, they're loaded. They got a really good team, man. Broncos probably I got them finishing third as well. Yeah, they added Sean Payton, but hey, I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know what that looks like in 2023. I just put it that way.
Right.
And then the Raiders, kind of the same thing like you just said. They got Devontae Adams, got Max Crosby on the defensive side. But Jimmy G, a quarterback. As soon as he gets hurt, I hate to say it, but he probably, it happens. It happens pretty much in every year that he's been a starter. So it's just not. I just don't think it's liable to turn into some wins. And like you said, Josh McDaniels, don't even get me started on him, bro. I've been seeing you. Yeah,
this dude
I've been
is not
seeing
a
you,
good
bro.
coach, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing like that. I get so mad about it because it's like if there are good coaches out here that are not getting the opportunity because Josh McDaniels, this screw job that isn't really good at all at coaching, besides being an OC, he's just not good. Like, as far as OC, I think he is one of the better OCs in the NFL. I won't even deny that. Josh McDaniels is an offensive guru as far as like when it on as an OC. Let me say that as an OC. But as a head coach, he's not a leader of men. He's a fraud, bro. I'm just gonna call it straight up. The dude is a fraud. Like, facts. Like, I don't until they get rid of him, the Raiders ain't doing nothing, bro.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't even think he had good of an OC.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a good OC, but he's not a head coach, bro. Like, that's
he ain't moving me at all.
Yeah,
he ain't moving me at all, man.
At all.
He quit. Who was that he took the job with? He quit on.
Colts.
Was that the Broncos?
That was the Colts.
The Colts.
What is the Colts?
Well, there
he
you
did
go.
that too.
I don't know who it was, but I know he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fried, bro. But let's move on to the AFC North. So I give you mine.
That's a good division too, as well.
This is a great division. So my hot take for this division. So I got one for this division, really, and I think 3 teams make the playoffs out of this division. Okay, out of the AFC North. All right. So my order, I'm gonna just jump right into it, man. I think the Ravens win. I got the Ravens. Yep, I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens. And I'm gonna tell you why I got the Ravens. All right. So last year, both times, and I'll be honest with you. You know, I know schedule plays a part in everything. I haven't looked at nobody's schedule to say this, but I think the Ravens last year, if the Ravens had Lamar Jackson, they beat the Bengals twice.
Okay.
Twice. Okay. They was way too close in that one. Because did they play each other 3 times last year? They played each other in the playoffs, correct?
They played each other in the playoffs too as well.
The playoff game was close.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. The last regular season game was close.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And they played back-to-back weeks.
And guess who played in either one of those games?
Lamar.
MVP, superstar, top 3 quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Top 3?
3. Hold on, we'll get. Yeah, now hold on, bro. Yes, bro. Yes,
oh, no.
Yes.
Wait.
Anyway,
hold on, stop,
bro. Yes, for sure.
For sure. Stop, Cam. You telling me at this exact moment, Lamar Jackson is a top 3 quarterback?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why, bro. And I'm actually about to get into it a little bit. Reason why I say that. If you look at the Ravens without Lamar Jackson last year, they failed to score. I think it's 16 points in every single game. They failed to score over 16 points every single game. In every game they had Lamar, they was close to 30. Yes, he is 100% a top 3 quarterback. I have him in my personal ranking. So I got Mahomes at 1. Okay. I got Burrow at 2.
That's right.
I got Lamar right there. I got Hurts. I got Herbert. Then I got Allen. That's my 6 right there.
You put Allen at 6?
Yes. I'm not giving him a pass for that playoff game, bro. Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's what I got.
In the chat, bro. I didn't see somebody talking.
They know this. They know this. I call Josh Allen Big Kirk Cousins. I'm so serious about it, bro. Like that's where he at for me. He's still great. Don't get me wrong.
It's crazy.
He's still great. Yeah, man. Look, man. Listen. In the NFL right now, there's only 3 MVPs, and Lamar Jackson is one of them. Yeah. He's one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Lamar at like 5. That's probably where I would rank him. Because again, we can't preach availability is the best ability, and then he out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why I can't put him at 3 personally. Because the last 2 seasons, when it mattered the most, where was he at? On the couch.
Yeah.
Like that's my problem with Lamar. That's why I can't put him at 3. If he was playing, you feel me? But I can't. I do kind of get where you're coming from on the Josh Allen because he's flopped in the playoffs now. I think 2 or 3 years in a row. To be honest, so it is starting to get a little bit concerning. For me, I probably would go. I know this is getting a little off top subject. And I already said this podcast was going to run long, but I would probably say my top 3 is probably, the 2 you said, Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna go ahead and say Patrick Mahomes and Burrow. I still think Josh Allen 3 though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I still think he 3, bro. I can't put him no lower than like 4 or 5 in my opinion.
So,
but I will give you this: if Josh Allen fall on his face flat again this season, I think your point will be a little bit more valid. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to start.
You good? So in the chat, they actually agreeing with me.
They actually agreeing. Most of the chat is agreeing with you.
So look at what AB said too. That's another thing that a lot of people don't bring up. He turns the ball over a crazy amount of times. Now, to be fair, he also is chucking the ball a crazy amount of times too. Like he kind of like the way, the way that they play and the fact that they really, for some reason, now I will say the Bills are failing. I'm not gonna say they're failing him, but they're failing the team because they just refuse to address that running back position. Seriously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have serviceable running backs, but they could legitimately make themselves amazing if they address that position. But we'll get to that another day. We're getting a little bit off topic, but yeah. So I have the Ravens finishing the first in the division because I think that they have. I just feel like that offense is retooled. They're loaded right now, man. If once again, this is all dependent on the health of Lamar Jackson and all dependent on really, I'm not too worried about the health of J.K. Dobbins. I
Mhm.
think if he gets hurt again, they got a loaded running back room
Yeah,
too, man. They just going
yeah. Gus
they gonna
Edwards.
put somebody else in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they gonna put somebody else in there. They gonna re-sign Kenyon Drake again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they gonna
They'll
do
be all
something.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But wide receiver, bro, they added Zay Flowers, who in my opinion was
I
the
like
second
him.
or third best wide receiver
I
in the
like him.
draft this year. I love Zay Flowers, man. I think will be a game changer this year.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later. They have still, in my opinion, the second best tight end in the league in Mark Andrews. I have him a little bit over. I have him over Kittle, just in terms of like just receive as a receiving tight end. I got Andrews at 2, and then they got OBJ. And once again, OBJ stays healthy, and this is all dependent on the health of the
Yeah.
Ravens. So you're right. I understand. Like the Ravens, they just have to stay healthy. But if
Yeah.
they don't stay healthy, then I still have them finishing number 2 because if I'm not mistaken, that's where they finished last year.
Right.
So and their defense is retooled. They still got some good players on there.
Yeah.
So I got the Ravens at 1, the Bengals at 2. I think it's close. The Bengals, both of them should win 10, 11, 12 games, in my opinion, if they both stay completely healthy. The Bengals, once again, you got a dude in Joe Burrow. You got the best wide receiver room trio in the league in Higgins, Chase, and Boyd. You got Joe Mixon, who is a great running back. You know what I'm saying? Offensive line has been so much better since that Super Bowl game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They're getting better on defense, or at least they're trying to. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that really you can say kind of holds them back from these other top AFC teams is that their defense just isn't on par with the Bills. You know what I'm saying? It's not on par with the Jets, but it's solid. I mean, it's not the worst defense in the league. It could be a whole lot worse. But offensively, they just stacked. They loaded. They're gonna score a lot of points. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the Bengals should be in the conversation for AFC Championship game this season simply because they have that electric offense that they have. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 3. All right, so listen up. All right, you probably agree with me on this.
Hold on. Who you put at 2?
The Bengals at 2.
Okay. I just had to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Steelers at 3. You probably agree with me here. The Steelers ain't getting enough love, man.
Yeah, I agree.
The Steelers are not getting enough love.
There's a chance we could see 4 teams in this division make the playoffs.
Hey, man. I'm
telling you. It's a deep division.
It's deep, man. This is
because I like Cleveland more than you do. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, this is the best division. This is the best division in football. Would you agree with that? Either this in the East?
I probably would. Yeah.
Yeah. The AFC East, the NFC East, AFC North, these are elite divisions. Yeah. You got 4 teams that are really good. You know what I mean? Steelers finished 3rd. Mike Tomlin, he never had a losing season. Greatest black coach of all time. One of the greatest head coaches of all time. I'm gonna believe in him no matter what happens. You feel me? Absolutely. Kenny Pickett. I'm a little higher on Kenny Pickett. Here's another hot take for you. Kenny Pickett finished the season as well as it's in the top 15 quarterbacks, in my opinion. Okay.
I think that's more feasible than Daniel Jones, in my opinion. But go ahead.
No, you good. Wide receivers, Pickens and Johnson. That's a solid room, boy. That's a solid room. Them boys always got some. They always get somebody at wide receiver. They don't make sense to me how they always find somebody, but they solid. Tight end Darnell and Freiermuth. That's an elite tight end room, bro.
Yeah.
Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. That's an elite tight end room. All right. And then they added Broderick Jones along the offensive line. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a great team this year. I think they can be in the conversation for 8 or 9 wins, and I think they sneak into the playoffs. They could. And then I got the Browns finishing last. And this is no disrespect to them. I just think the other teams are just way better. You know what I'm saying? I just think they're better than them. You know what I'm saying? Running back wise, Nick Chubb, best in the league in my opinion, one of the best for sure. Wide receiver room, pretty good. Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Amari Cooper. And then defensively, they're very good defensively. So the Browns, another team that could really make some noise and potentially sneak into the playoffs. But give me your AFC North rankings.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
The team I have winning the AFC North are the Cleveland Browns. I have the Cleveland Browns winning the AFC.
Whoa!
Yes, indeed. I'm going to tell you why. If Freakman
Woo!
Watson, hold on. If Freakman Watson shows up and is fully now, the legal situations is over. It's over. The legal situation, now he can strictly just say, I'm focused in on football, right? You have Deshaun Watson, who has now ingratiated himself into the offense fully. Y'all got to think about it. Last year when he came into the season, when he was sticking up the joint, he had not played in 2 years. It just now started to get into the offense. Nick Chubb is probably the second or possibly the best running back in the game, right? I don't think nobody would disagree with that. Cleveland's O-line, probably like a top 10 O-line in the NFL. I don't think nobody would disagree with that.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore, really good wide receiver. Amari Cooper, we already know what he can do. Really good wide receiver. David Njoku seems like he's taking the next step.
Yeah.
That's already a stacked O-line, a stacked offense. I haven't even got to the defense side of the ball yet. Myles Garrett, probably the best pass rusher in the game, if not top 5. Top 3, probably.
Top 2. I mean, you said it. You best.
Yeah, he's probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Ward is the most underrated cornerback in the NFL that no one talks about, and he's top 10. Nobody talks about Denzel Ward. I'm telling you now, that linebacking core, pretty good. Cleveland's winning this division, bro. Straight up, bro. Cleveland and Darius Smith. I forgot about that. Darius Smith is now with them. A really effective pass rusher. Give me Cleveland winning this division, bro. Straight up. I know that's a hot take. I got Cleveland winning the division. It makes sense. Think about it. They are loaded at every single position, bro. It's just the quarterback. If Deshaun Watson, Freakman, can put it together, it's Joker. They win that division, bro. I know y'all probably like, this is the hottest I ever seen, Tony. I think that Cleveland is winning that division. Second, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bengals. I still believe in the Bengals. And once again, I want to make this clear. All these teams could possibly make the playoffs. Every single last one of them. Because like you said, this is the best division in football, to be honest, in my opinion. I got the Bengals next. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I mean, it's self-explanatory, bro. They picked up Orlando Brown Jr. in the offseason to add to that O-line. They're going to be good. I'm putting them at my number 2 team. I can see them getting like 11, 12 wins. Same with Cleveland. I can see them getting 11, 12 wins. Then we're going to go to your boys down there in Baltimore. I can see them getting 10 or 11 wins. They added Zay Flowers. I think he's an absolute stud. They added Odell Beckham. He showed us in 2021 he still somewhat got it. I think he's going to be really good this season after having a whole year off. And they already have Mark Andrews, so now Lamar actually has weapons. If Lamar can stay healthy, that team's going to be in the playoffs as well. And the Steelers, I got going in at last. And I still think they're going to have a winning record probably. They're probably going to be 9-8 or something like that. But I think I do like Kenny Pickett. He does look like he's improved. He had an awesome preseason. He looks like he's
man.
Step. Najee Harris is a good player. George Pickens, like he has took the next step. So I definitely understand the hype on them too as well. That defense is always loaded. Alec Highsmith, shout out to him. UNC Charlotte grad, went to school with him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Like TJ Watt, another beast pass rusher. They're going to be up there as well, but I got them at 9-8. But for me, I got Cleveland winning this division. When people say Cleveland in the comment section, I was smiling because I was like, oh, they don't peep the game. I got Cleveland winning this division, bro, straight up, because nobody is talking about them. And I think they might be pound for pound the most talented roster in that division. Straight up. Yep.
Ooh. Hey, man. That's hot. With the injury concerns with the other teams, Lamar, Burrow, Watt, etc., the door could be open for Cleveland. Hey, you right, man.
Telling you.
Hey, woo. That's a take, y'all.
Hey, this
Now, that's a take.
podcast long, but it's a good episode, man. Y'all
That's a
gonna want to
take.
stick around for this one, bro.
That's
This
a
probably
take.
the best episode, low key. Cause
That's a
we
take,
you
my
know
boy.
what I'm saying? It's a take. I'm telling y'all, that's what it is, though. That's
Yo,
where I
we ain't
stand.
done yet. We ain't done
Oh,
yet. We got a little more, just a little more
yep.
for y'all, man. All right, so did you want to go into power rankings real quick for the 32 teams, or did you want to skip that for today?
No,
It's
we can do that. Like I said, we good, man. I'm trying to think. So we did the AFC completely, correct?
yeah, that's all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
That's everybody.
Bet. Yeah, we ready. We can
So
do power.
yeah,
We can
that's
just run through
everybody.
it real quick, and we can kind of see if we agree or if I disagree or whatever. But yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So I made this list a while back. It might not match up with what we just said.
Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but basically, so I'm gonna start at 32 and I'm gonna work my way up. All right.
Okay.
So basically, so at 32, I put down the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're the worst team in football.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's the only team that comes close is 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers for me. And then at 30, I think this is really kind of where you get into that these teams should be improved, but they still just not good enough yet. 30, I got the Houston Texans. 29, I had the Rams, so I do think they're gonna be pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
28, I actually had now back this was a while ago, but I actually got the Falcons at 28. Now it might be a little low, because I'm looking at it now. It might be a little low, but actually let me change that order. I'm gonna put the Colts at 28.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the Colts at 28. And at 27, I do feel more comfortable putting the Falcons there at 27.
Yeah.
Okay. At 26, I got the Raiders.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Now this is kind of where we get into really from here up. These are kind of your unknowns, and it could kind of go. They could be higher. They might mess around and be lower.
Yep.
25. So 26, I said Raiders. 25, I got the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Might be low, but I got the Commanders. 24, I got the Titans. 23, sorry everybody, I got the Carolina Panthers.
No, I think that's pretty appropriate. That's kind of where I would put them probably.
22, I got the New England Patriots. 21, I got the Green Bay Packers. 20, I got the Chicago Bears. 19, I got the New Orleans Saints. And so that's all the South. The South is best as going to be at the 19th best team in the league. Okay. 18, I got the Denver Broncos.
I would move them back personally, but that's my opinion.
You will move them a little further down.
Okay. But keep going.
Okay. 17, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now 16, this is probably where you disagree, because 16, I actually had the Cleveland Browns. So I guess I did have the Browns ranked higher than the Steelers back then. But so I got the Cleveland Browns at 16. 15, I got the Minnesota Vikings.
Whoo! That's a little high for my liking too, but go ahead.
They hot. Woo!
Yeah, I would drop them a little bit. I would drop them to about maybe like 19, personally. 18. Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
Okay. 14, I got the New York Giants. 13, I got the Seattle Seahawks. All right. I'm probably going to have to revise this list for real. Because I think I want to jump some of these teams. At 12, I got the Lions. So here I had basically the Lions as the 12th best team in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. 11. Now in my opinion, pretty much from here up, these are your playoff. Yeah. These are all of these teams, in my opinion, could make it to the AFC the championship games.
Yeah.
Conference championships. So 11, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
10, I got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
9, I got the Miami Dolphins. 8, I got the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. 7, now, and I could raise this team a little some because I think this was before they added Dalvin Cook. I got the Jets at 7.
Yeah, I would probably raise them up a little bit personally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually gonna raise them much higher. 6, I got the 49ers. Okay. Now 5, you probably gonna disagree here with 4 and 5, but 5, I got the Ravens, and 4, I got the Bengals.
Mm,
Okay. Um 3, I got the Bills, which this is kind of where I disagree with my own list. 3, I got the Bills. I just think they just, they've been there for so long.
mhm.
And then 2 and 1. So 2, I got the Eagles. 1, I got the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me kind of give you my synopsis. I think it's a pretty good list. I don't think
Okay.
there's too many offs. I think the bottom 10 you did pretty much almost perfectly, to be honest. I might would move the Panthers a little up from 23.
Okay.
I might put them at like 21, 22.
Okay.
I probably would move. I'm trying to think of. I would move Minnesota down a little bit. I think you had them at
15.
13, 15. I moved them to like that 18, 19 area personally. Um, in my opinion. I think the Bears need to be moved down a little bit too. Where was the Bears
Okay.
at?
So Minnesota was at 15. I had the Bears at 20.
Okay. They should
So
be in the same ballpark as the Panthers. So that's about right actually.
okay,
Like 20. Yeah, that's
let
about
me
right.
ask you to let me ask you to rank these 4 teams real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Bears, Packers, Patriots, Panthers.
Oh God, they so all are like equivalent.
Mhm.
Say those 4 teams for me again.
So Bears, Packers, Panthers, Patriots.
Okay. And chat, y'all jump in too, man. Because they all are kind of equally. So for me personally, God, that's rough. I think for me, I would put the Patriots probably at number one because they they have a really good defense. Like their defense
Yeah,
is pretty good,
legit. Yeah.
better than all of them. So I would put them up there. Secondly, man, that's tough because all of those teams are like about equal,
Yeah.
honestly. I think secondly, I probably would say that's tough because the Bears, Packers, and Panthers are all like right there with each
Hmm.
other. I would probably go.
Now remember in your division rankings, you had Packers and then Bears too.
So
See
yeah,
what I'm
that's what I
saying?
was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably would go Packers. I think the Panthers are going to be better than the Bears personally,
Hmm.
and then Bears
And then
last.
Bears.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how. So I
Okay.
would go Patriots, Packers, Panthers, Bears. Yeah, that's how
Okay.
I
So
would
you would
do it.
probably do. Okay. So what you would basically do is you would have the Patriots probably at 20ish.
Yeah,
You said Packers next, so they would stay at
21.
21.
Yep,
Panthers will move up to 22. Bears at
22. Yep,
23.
yep. That's where I
Okay.
would have it. Yep.
Got you. And so Vikings for you, are they above that list or are they below those
Yeah,
teams?
they're above that list. I would probably put them, like I said, like 18. I would have them like
Okay.
in that 18, 17 ballpark for me personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that slides the Browns up. That slides the Steelers up.
Yeah,
And that puts them with the
I would put the Browns at like 11, like or 12.
okay.
I'm pretty
Okay.
high on the Browns. I would put them at like 11 or 12, maybe a
Okay.
little higher. But like I said, definitely in that ballpark.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically you thinking the Vikings are gonna be somewhere with the Broncos and the Saints this year. Around
Exactly. Bingo.
yeah.
In that area. That's
Got
exactly
you.
where I think they're
Got
gonna
you.
be at. Yep. So that's
Got you.
correct. But besides that, bro, your list was pretty accurate, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
I
you.
agree with that.
Word. All right. So really let's move on to I guess it's probably be the last topic of the day.
Yeah, we done went
Um
almost 2 hours, man. If y'all been here since
yeah.
day one, shout out to y'all, bro. Y'all stuck it out. We knew this was gonna be a long podcast today, but it's been a good one. Like honestly, this slick
Yeah.
has been my favorite episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Me too, man. Me too. Um So let's go ahead and break it down. So let's talk about NFL award predictions, okay?
Okay.
Um, and so we're gonna go from basically bottom to the top.
Okay.
So let's start with if you don't mind, let's start with the rookie. So who do you think wins offensive rookie of the year?
B. John Robinson. I think B.
Okay.
John Robinson is a difference maker. I think he's going to be an immediate impact type of guy. And with Arthur Smith's offense, it's so predicated off the run, smash mouth football. And with him and Tyler Algier kind of being able to split reps, I think Algier will get a little bit of the task, but I think it'll be mostly probably be John. And I think he's going to come in and make immediate impact. So for me, rookie of the year offensively, I'm going to go ahead and say B. John Robinson.
Okay, I like that pick. I think it's a I think that's what a lot of people are expecting. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the betting favorite right now.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
But I actually have a different name for that.
Okay.
So I got Zay Flowers, offensive rookie of the year.
You are big on the Ravens. I'm about to start calling you Ravens Cambo. This is crazy.
Yeah, man. I think Zay Flowers, I really think that he's a game changer. And I think he's gonna change that Ravens offense in a way that, unfortunately, in a way that Hollywood Brown never could. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I think he's gonna turn himself into a true wide receiver one already off the rip.
Yeah.
And after his rookie season. And I think he's just gonna gel very well with that offense and with Lamar Jackson. So I got Flowers for offensive rookie of the year. Give me your defensive rookie of the year.
Okay, so defensive rookie of the year.
I think this one's tougher.
Yeah, I think this one's tougher because the obvious answer would be who went number one overall defensive wise? Will Anderson, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be easy to just say that. For me though, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really like that Devon Witherspoon kid, man.
Yeah, man.
I think he's really good. And then on top of that, he has Tariq Woolen on the other side of him. So I think he's going to get tried a lot as a rookie. So I'm actually going to take Devon Witherspoon with my pick on rookie of the year.
I like that pick, man. I'm not going to lie. So I had three names really that I was deciding between. Yeah. Witherspoon was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually did end up taking Will Anderson for mine.
Yeah.
I just think he's a great player. I think he's going to be very, very, very good here in the next couple of years. I think he's going to show out a little bit with the Texans because they don't really have much. So all eyes are going to be on him anyway. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in prime position to make a lot of plays.
Right.
The other name that I had was Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
The only reason why I took Anderson over Carter was because, as far as we know, Jalen Carter is going to start the year off on the bench.
Exactly. That's why I didn't take him, because he's going to be behind Cox and Jordan Davis, which he was a backup to him at Georgia. So that's why I didn't put him on there for me.
And so I've heard, basically on Twitter and everything that Carter, he's definitely going to be a second string player, but he's going to play as much as a first string probably would. He's going to be heavy in the rotation.
Yeah,
heavy in the rotation.
Yeah.
So he could still even win it just coming off the bench. But I think, I just got Will Anderson because I just think he's going to be in prime position to make every single play possible.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Coach of the Year. Who do you have for Coach of the Year? And I think you already know who mine going to be.
So Coach of the Year, that's such a intriguing award, because most of the time the Coach of the Year almost goes to really the most improved coach.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, that's kind of how it normally goes. So for me, I look at a guy like Doug Peterson, man. Say he gets that team to 12 wins. They're looking good, solidly in position for the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence has developed into a superstar that I know he can be. Calvin Ridley is now down there. I think I'm gonna go with Doug Peterson. I definitely think he can make a splash for that. I definitely think I would put him there.
That's a good pick. Who do you remember who won it last year? Was it Pete Carroll or was it
I thought it was Brian Daboll. Did Brian Daboll win last year?
It was. You right. No, it was. So Doug Peterson would be a great pick for that. I got John Harbaugh winning it this year because I just think, man, I'm buying all in.
Your new name is Ravens Cam. This man is Cambo Raven. This is ridiculous. And I think somebody else said it too. I would put Kevin Stefanski possibly in that situation too, since I'm hype on Cleveland. I would put them. This boy is ravened up, boy.
Yeah, man. I'm buying all in. If I'm
I
wrong, I'm
see.
wrong, but I'm gonna die on that hill, bro. I'm gonna be
Yeah, I see.
I'm buying in on those guys this year, man. But I think I just think, like I said, last year, I mean, they was missing their best player. They was missing their
Yeah.
MVP, and they don't have
Mhm.
wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Or last year they didn't have wide receivers, and they were
Yeah.
a very good team. Still, they
Right.
still made the playoffs. And I
Mhm.
think this year, you know, if they can just even be as good, you know what I'm saying, as they were last year,
Yep.
man, they looking good. So I got John Harbaugh for me. Um, Comeback player of the year, man. So who do you have for comeback player of the year?
I think we all know it's gonna be DeMar Hamlin. I mean, as soon as he steps on the field, it's gonna be like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't
man,
even
I
think about
gotta be
that.
funny. I love he talk. Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
ain't even
DeMar Hamlin, bro.
I ain't even think
Soon as
about that.
DeMar Hamlin step on the field, bro, it's gonna be DeMar Hamlin. You know that. You know the NFL gonna do that. Like it don't matter what he do, he can get burnt 16 times as long as he out on that field. DeMar,
Yeah,
not trying to be
yeah.
funny, bro. I'm just being real. Like
No, you
DeMar
right. You
Hamlin
right.
gonna win that junk, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be straight up with you.
you right. I ain't
Yeah.
even think about it. I chose Brees Hall. I chose I ain't even think about that. I forgot. Yeah, he probably is gonna win
Bro,
that. But
I'm laughing because I could tell you was that you was like, oh shit.
yeah, I wouldn't even think about that, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I could yeah. I mean,
Bro.
you right though. I mean,
Yeah,
he
you
is
know
gonna
how
win
the
that.
NFL do it, bro.
Yeah.
You know how
He
that's
gonna
gonna
win that.
come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I mean, he would deserve it, especially if he plays a lot this
Yeah,
season. Like
yeah, bro. Almost
that's
died on the field. Like,
yeah, that's scary. But
yeah, for
um,
sure.
but I chose Brees Hall because I just think last year he was well on his way to winning Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
If he had to stay healthy. But I think this year, you know, I know they added Dalvin Cook, but Brees
Yeah.
Hall he's still an amazing player. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have chose him, but yeah, you're right. DeMar Hamlin's gonna win that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on to now these are the big three here. Um Offensive player of the year. Who you got?
Offensive player of the year. That's tough, man. I would probably say for me, at least, I think a guy like Travis Kelce could win it because when you look at like the Chiefs, they don't have any wideouts. Like that wide receiver core actually kind of got worse
Mhm.
this offseason, to be honest. So I think Travis Kelce gonna get the ball a lot. So I'm gonna take Travis Kelce.
That's a great pick. And I don't know if Kelsey has ever won Offensive Player of the Year, but I would it's actually a shame that if he hasn't
Right.
won it yet. That's a
Exactly.
great pick.
Yeah.
Kelsey is we can talk about that another day, but Kelsey is one of the GOAT tight ends.
Yeah.
Like
He
that's
is.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And like I said, he's
but
gonna have like I think for me, he's gonna have like wide receiver stats
yeah,
this year.
man.
Like I can
Oh,
see him
he
having
already have them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like he's gonna be up there with the
yeah.
Justin Jeffersons of the world, the
Oh
Tariq
yeah,
Hill. Like it's as far as wide
yeah,
yards and reception wise, he's gonna be up there because
yeah.
they don't have anybody else to throw to.
Yeah, I think he finished last year. I think he finished second or third, and he finished third in receiving yards last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Behind,
So
yeah. So yeah. Well, I got Justin Jefferson. I ain't picking nobody else, man.
yeah, that's
Jefferson is
understandable. That was my
yeah,
other pick. I was like, well, maybe
yeah,
Justin Jefferson. But
yeah.
yeah,
I didn't even think about because they really don't be giving that award out to tight ends like they probably could
right.
have. But Jefferson, again, I think when it comes to skill positions that's not quarterback, I think he's the best player in the league, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
Kelsey actually would probably be right up there though, too. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
great pick. Give me your defensive player of the year.
Goodness. Defensive player of the year. I like this dude a lot. I think he's gonna take even a better step, man. I told you, I picked him earlier. I ain't falling off of it. Give me Myles Garrett, man.
Yeah,
I think
man.
Myles Garrett gonna have a good year.
I like that. So he was actually my pick. He was one of my picks. I ultimately didn't take him, but he was actually the one I was thinking about the most
Yeah, I'm
until I
taking
thought of
Myles
this guy.
Garrett.
Until I thought of this guy here. And I think this guy's gonna win it because not only is he good, but he's probably one of the most popular defensive players in the league. I think Michael Parsons
Oh,
actually wins it this
yeah,
year.
yeah. Let me switch
Yeah.
my answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Parsons. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
And
switch my answer. Michael Parsons. That's the absolute correct answer. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like Garrett
Yeah.
was the first player that came to my mind because I was like, this dude is probably should have. I don't know if he has one already, but he should have won one by now. Like he's a very good edge rusher.
Yeah.
But when it comes to it's a popularity concert. No
Yeah,
contest. No matter what happens,
it's
no matter what
popularity.
happens this year,
I'm with you
Michael
on that.
Parsons probably gonna win it this year.
Yeah, I'm going Michael.
Yeah, so I definitely I had Parsons. So now, last but certainly not least, give me your NFL MVP this year.
That man that wear 15 that live in Kansas City, that's who I'm going with every single year. Do not care. Until he stopped playing football, that man that wear number 15 that live in Kansas City, and his dad name is Patrick Mahomes Sr. yeah, him. Until I see anything differently, bro, don't care.
Yeah,
I'm going with Patrick Mahomes.
I respect it. It's
don't
not.
Do it,
it's not a no. I'm not. I know where you're going. I know what you're thinking. But listen, so I respect like Mahomes. He's kind of like LeBron in that instance. Like he really could win it every single year.
Right.
Every single year. I didn't pick Mahomes this time because, in my opinion, there's another quarterback out there who really should be in the MVP conversation. And in my opinion, I think he should have won it last year if he played all 17 games. I think Jalen Hurts wins MVP this year.
That's a good answer.
I think Jalen Hurts wins MVP this year. And I'm hoping that he wins MVP this year too, because I really like if I had a vote, I would have still voted for him last year. I know Mahomes is incredible.
Really
don't get me wrong. I would have gave him that vote last year. You thought I was gonna pick Lamar. I know.
I did.
I know. But no, I don't get me wrong though. I think Lamar could be in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I think if he stays healthy,
he'll definitely be in the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you look at last year, the first 6 weeks of the season, he was gonna win it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was his.
Yeah. It was his.
I mean, he outpaced every single player. He was outpacing teams.
Last year. I was about to say,
like he was going ballistic. So, but ultimately, I think Jalen Hurts. I think he wins MVP this year. And then, so last but not least, I thought that was gonna be last, but actually, give me your Super Bowl prediction.
Okay.
Just way too early Super Bowl prediction, as well as your Super Bowl MVP prediction.
So I think the Chiefs are getting back there again this year, in my personal opinion. So I got the Chiefs, and it's going to surprise you. I know the Eagles are the best team. I think the Niners get there this year. I actually got the Niners getting in there, but I have the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl this year. So give me Chiefs, Niners, Super Bowl MVP, that man 15, bro. Getting his third ring in his first, 5 or 6 years in the league. Yeah. I got Patrick Mahomes, them boys winning again this year.
Okay, so Chiefs, 49ers. Okay, so mine gonna look different.
Okay.
I think the Eagles go back. So I got the Eagles going back. I don't think the Chiefs go back though. And that's no
I mean, that's not. Yeah, they got this. That's the loaded, division.
Yeah, no disrespect to them. But I think this is tough. I'm trying to think who I really want to gamble on here. I said Eagles. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I think so. This was my bold prediction for the whole season.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but basically I said that I thought that the AFC Championship game was going to be a division battle, pretty much. And I think I said I had Bengals and Ravens potentially making it, as well as Jets and Bills.
Yeah.
When it breaks down to it, I'm gonna go ahead and just buy into the hype. I'm gonna just say the Jets.
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna say the Jets.
So you got the Jets going to the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
I'm gonna say the Jets. Yeah, against the Eagles. And again, this is just an early, way too early prediction.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
gonna change throughout the season,
Yeah,
probably.
of course.
But yes, Eagles, Jets, Super Bowl MVP. I think Jalen Hurts wins this one.
Okay.
I think last year, if there was ever a year that a loser should have won MVP, golly, it should have been Jalen Hurts. If there was ever a
Yeah,
year
he balled
that a
that
loser
game. Yeah.
hooping, man. I seen a stat earlier that said he had the second highest rated Super Bowl
Yeah.
in
He
league
hooped.
history. So yeah, he was absolutely outstanding. So yeah, Eagles versus Jets for me, Chiefs 49ers for you. I got basically Jalen Hurts sweeping with MVP and Super Bowl MVP,
Mhm.
and you got Mahomes sweeping MVP and
Yep,
Super Bowl MVP.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Word. So that's pretty much a wrap on NFL season predictions. Um, hey man, longest episode yet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
bro. We pulled a 2 hour and 5 minute one, man. But it was
Yeah,
fun though, bro. It
it
was a
was.
really
It
good episode.
was.
This is gonna be a really fun one to go back and watch too, man. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube too. But yeah, this was my favorite episode by far, even though it was
Yeah.
longer. You know what I'm saying? It was a long episode, I won't lie, but you know what I'm saying? It was needed. It's the first week of football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
college we had to talk about and NFL and doing all this prepping up for NFL. So I figured this was gonna be like a 2 hour, you feel me? One. So
Yeah.
it's all good though. But I enjoyed it personally. And I hope
Yeah.
y'all
Me too.
enjoyed it mainly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me too, man. But yeah, so basically just be on the lookout for more to come. We'll
Yep.
be in Atlanta Sunday.
Yep.
And y'all holler at us. We're gonna be on the timeline talking about the game tonight.
Yep.
And so it's gonna be fun, man. We got a lot coming up.
Yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, we're gonna be switching our time too on doing this because now since the football season is back, not this week because it was Labor Day and all that, but probably start next week. We're probably gonna start doing the podcast on Tuesday. So that'll be Tuesday going forward here from Tuesday, probably for the rest of the football season, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So we'll be starting it Tuesday evening. So that's how we're gonna be kind of doing it from here going forward. But appreciate y'all for sticking in there because some of y'all been here since like the first 5 minutes of the pod and sticked with us the whole way through for 2 hours. So shout out to y'all, bro. But appreciate y'all, love y'all. We know we kept y'all on tonight, but it was well worth it. Happy Labor Day. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy y'all's day, man. And keep pounding.